Hey, welcome to Cardboard Mant. I'm Will, and we're going to be taking a look at game recommendations for ages 11 and up. Now, if you want to see some of my earlier age group recommendations, we have videos for ages 3 to 6, and then also for 7 and 10. Now, a lot of those games are still going to be fun at older age groups, but I'm not going to include them here, so you get a fresh selection. Also, I've already taken out Ticket to Ride, Catan, and Carcassonne because they are easy recommendations and I'm not going to include them on this list, even though my family does still play them and love them, and I do recommend, the classics because they're classics for a reason. Ticket to Ride Europe, I will mention, is just a little bit more friendly as far as Ticket to Ride goes, and I do recommend the newer edition of Carcassonne. This is my weird old travel version that comes in a bag. But we still have it. It's beat up, but we still play it. Of course, I will also mention, just like in my other videos, that pick games that your kids want to play, or that they're at least willing to try, and if they like them, then keep playing them. But if they don't like them, find something else. There's nothing worse than trying to force your kids to play a game that they're not interested in. You gotta find games that they will love and that you can enjoy as well. And I think there are definitely enough games out there that surely you'll find things that will work for your family. All these games are currently available for purchase at major retailers. I did make sure that they're all still available. And of course, while they may work at younger ages, this is a more of the 11 plus age group. And I would expect at this age that they would probably be able to learn and remember the rules to these games pretty easily. So first game we have is Jamaica. I believe this has been recently reprinted. In this game, you are a bunch of pirates racing around Jamaica, trying to reach the opposite end of the island, or rather get around the island. First, you are also collecting gold and treasures, and there's a little bit of swashbuckling involved where you are, getting into fights with each other and stealing things from each other's cargo hold. It is quite a fun game with a lot of back and forth where you may think you're ahead, but then someone steals your gold. There is also an expansion that adds leaders to this game that gives you special powers. It is a lot of fun, but is not necessary. Just the base game alone is great fun, as it is. Then we have Takenoko, and this game is also just adorable, with the cute little pandas and nice little bamboo sticks as they grow taller. And you are trying to use different actions to fulfill different cards that have requirements where you'll either need to do things like eat different types of bamboo with the panda, or grow bamboo stalks of certain heights and patterns, or build different shape patterns of landscapes. And again, very beautiful game. Simple, flows pretty easily, and quite a bit of fun. There is some slight similarities to Catan in terms of just the hex map layout and water, but it is much more free-flowing, and you're not fighting for area control over different things. Next, I'm going to mention Castle Panic, which I don't have here with me right now, but it is a cooperative game where you're trying to survive an onslaught of monsters. All the expansions are pretty great for it. I think the Wizard's Tower adds the most interesting stuff with the magic spells, but the Siege expansion can add some very strong siege weapons, but of course equally strong enemy siege weapons and monsters. And there's I forget the name of it, but there's another expansion that adds a big boss, a big evil monster who comes out near the end that's very difficult to kill. Also, very simple co-op. My kids will play it with their friends, and they just have a great time playing it. Next, we have Point Salad as a smaller, quicker card game. Again, very simple, but it does encourage a little bit of math, especially if your children are a little bit behind on that because there's some multiplication and addition stuff going on. And again, it's very simple. You are either on your turn taking two different vegetable cards from the market, or you're taking one of the point scoring cards. At any time, you can flip a point scoring card to vegetable, but you'll never be able to flip it back. At the end of the game, once the cards run out, You just look at what the point scoring cards, usually things like different combinations. Some cards may give you negative points for one type of vegetable, but positives for others. And again, it's just very simple, quick flowing card game. Next we have Kingdomino, another good one for some basic math. You are essentially drafting using a first in or first in, first out. Anyways, a type of drafting mechanic where you are grabbing tiles and building them around your kingdom, following domino rules, but also trying to get certain different objectives like fitting within a certain shape. But more importantly, it comes down to the scoring, where you are multiplying the number of crowns in an area by the size of the area. So again, lots of fun. It's very fast. It's like 15 minutes. There is a epic 2-player variant where you can play a even larger size kingdom. That's a lot of fun. And even though there are expansions for this and a Queendomino version, I think the Kingdomino was just right. It didn't need to have overcomplicated add-ons. It just, as a short and sweet 15-minute game, it just fulfilled that flawlessly. Then we have Barenpark, where you are taking Tetris type shapes and building your bear park, trying to score different objectives, but more importantly, it's trying to cover over every tile or every space of land that you have. In which case, when you do finish a spot, you'll get to grab the largest of the point scoring tokens. Also, it is just so simple to play because whatever you cover over, the symbol matches another type of building. So you can very easily get more buildings, and on your turn you just play another building. You cover some stuff over, you get some more stuff, and keep playing that until you're done. Then we have Wildlands. This one is quite heavy because I have everything for it, including the Ancients expansion in the box. I don't really recommend getting everything in here because it weighs a ton. But Wildlands is a fairly quick and very easy to understand skirmish style game with a little bit of sneakiness involved, and it can be a lot of fun. My kids really do enjoy playing this and duking it out. And the Ancients, if you're looking for a larger expansion, adds a cooperative or solo mode for 1 to 2 players. And I'll do a review of this later. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a playthrough and or review of Wildlands with the Ancients expansion. But if you're looking for a skirmish style game, this is a great family level version of that. Then we have Pompeii. So this game has been pretty consistently reprinted. I got this at Princess Auto, which is usually a car parts type store, but they had a bunch of board games that they were selling for really cheap. But anyways, you can still find it. It is an older game. It certainly looks older, but the play is very fun and great for families. Again, if your family doesn't mind a little bit more conflict and a little bit more chaos, you are essentially first populating Pompeii with your members of your clans or your people, and then the volcano erupts, and you are spreading lava throughout Pompeii while trying to simultaneously run away with your own people. If you escape with the most people, you win. And a lot of the fun in this game is, cutting other people off with lava flow and blocking the exits so that, the exit where your people are crowded around can still escape, but, your big brothers or your mother's exit has been cut off, or your dad's. They always seem to go for me. Then we have Cascadia. I do have a playthrough and review of this on my channel. This is just a beautiful, simple, easy-flowing tile-laying game where you are drafting a combination of a tile and an animal and then placing them. And then at the end of the game, you are scoring each different type of animal based on their unique scoring objective, as well as you're looking at majorities for who has the largest group of river tiles or the largest group of forest tiles or mountain tiles. Very simple, very open-ended. You never feel too constricted, but there's still lots of interesting choices. And the solo mode also works quite well. And lastly, we have Quacks of Quedlinburg. Now, the spelling for this is quite unusual, but and the game looks kind of, not like the biggest eye catcher by the cover, but I will attest that it is so much fun, and my family has played many, many rounds of this, enjoyed it quite a lot. What you're doing is you have a bag full of magic potion ingredients, and you are reaching into that bag and randomly pulling one out and adding it to your pot of magic ingredients. If you, however, get 7 or more, or rather, if you get over 7 of the white cherry bombs, then you bust and you have to quit. But as long as you draw other ingredients, you can keep going. So it's a push your luck style game where you decide where you want to stop. And each ingredient also has a different books associated with it that will do something a little bit different, a little bit special. And there's a good variety of those books too, so you can change up the game a little bit each time. It can be a lot of fun. There's a little bit of an engine building style game in it where you are building your bag with better things and doing more and more each round until the end. Whoever has the highest score wins. The first expansion, which is the Herb Witches, I do recommend because the local flower and new books are all very interesting. However, I would probably pass on the second expansion, and just because it's unnecessary. It just overcomplicates a game that was just at a great spot as it is. I would recommend also getting some upgrades if you played a lot, because pieces may eventually start to wear out. I never really wore them out, but I've heard it happening. I know the Board Game Geek store has nice acrylic pieces that you can buy, but they're just as expensive as the game itself. So if you want to go the cheaper route, I bought coin capsules, which are little plastic capsules for putting coin collections inside. And I found ones that were just the right size for all the different ingredients. And it really adds a nice tactile feel when you're digging into that bag and all the nice pieces are clicking together. And you're not fishing for just a cardboard token. You're getting a nice chunky piece of plastic and putting it down your board. So that is it for my board game recommendations for ages 11 and up. If you'd like to take a look at my recommendations for 3 to 6 or 7 to 10, please let me know, what games do you play with your family? What games do you love to play? Which ones hit the table regularly on family game nights? I'd love to hear and maybe hear some recommendations for you guys to play with my own family. So thanks again for watching, and have fun.